to remember here the rules we have on Talk and Talk. I feel like you guys have been here before. Is there anyone here for the first time? Don't think so, right? Okay, so just to remember the rules we follow here on Talk and Talk. For you person watching us on YouTube, hello there. We have only 3 rules to follow here in our conversations, and they are pretty simple. Rule number 1 is that this is a conversation, it's an immersion, it's not a class. So I'm not here to teach you anything. Doesn't mean that you're not going to learn, okay? You will, but in another way. It's not going to be like a class. We're going to put our English to practice, observe how other people speak, make our mistakes, and learn with them. Which remembers me, we're going to make mistakes, and rule number 2 is to not correct one another, okay? We're not going to correct one another, and that's all right. There's no problem. And then rule number 3 is we're going to be respectful to one another at all times. Maybe Fernanda doesn't like eggplant, and I don't like eggplant either, but Pedro loves eggplant. There's no problem. He doesn't need to feel insulted. We all have different opinions here, and Pedro might say that eggplant is perfect. Fernanda might say it's terrible, and we can disagree, but we're going to be respectful to each other at all times, okay? And also, remember, this is a conversation, so feel free to expose your opinion, to answer another person, to make comments. We're here to follow a conversation, not an interview where I talk to you guys all the time, okay? That's it. And then I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves. So, Italo, would you introduce yourself to us, please?
Okay, my name is Italo. I'm 28 years old, and have been working with software development, and I'm trying to learn English to get my dream job, maybe working with international companies. And this is a summary about me. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. Very good. Thank you, Italo. Now, what about you, Fernanda? Would you introduce yourself to us, please?
Hello, guys. Today is my first day in the English class. So I'm 27 years old. I live in France. There is 2 years. There are 2 years. And I needed to practice my English because it's a long time ago that I don't speak it. So that's it.
That's really great. So you're living in France.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. How is it?
It's cold here.
It's the winter for you. It's in the middle of the winter for you guys right now, right?
Yeah, it's like 3 degrees, 2 degrees. Yeah. It's not funny.
Probably isn't, right? Daphne is in Europe too. Daphne is in Amsterdam, right?
Yes, I live in Amsterdam. It's very cold. It's the middle of the winter.
Oh my, so girls are suffering there. I wish you luck. And I know that Daphne has warming in her house because she's not wearing a coat.
Yes, inside the house is very warm.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so take the cue, and would you introduce yourself as well, please?
Yes, my name is Daphne. I am 27 years old. I studied psychology. I live in Amsterdam. And I've been studying English for 2 years. Yes, and I want to improve more my English.
That's great. Nice to have you here for one more conversation. I just forgot to say welcome to Fernanda. So Fernanda, welcome here to our conversations. I really hope you enjoy being in our community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, girls. Now, Rafael, will you introduce yourself to us, please?
Hello, guys. My name is Rafael. I'm 26 years old. I'm from north of Brazil, the city Belém. I live in São Paulo right now. And I understand I needed to improve my English. And more important for me is don't forget my that I really know. So I'm here to improve more. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. It's nice to have you here with us one more time, mister. And I hope you enjoy our conversation here today.
Thanks.
And now, Pedro, you're up, buddy.
Well, it's a pleasure. I'm Pedro Coutinho, 28, from Poços de Caldas, currently living in Guarulhos, São Paulo. Engaged. What more I can share? I don't know. I love sports, move. And I hope the next language that I will learn will be French. So this is amazing. I think that is very, very hard to say, but it will be my next step.
Bon courage. Bon courage.
I don't know what she said, but I think I know it's something good because she said bon. So that's it.
It's like good luck.
Oh, how is it pronounced?
Bon courage. Bon
Bon
courage.
courage. No, now we already know a little bit of French. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm Rufino, Junior Rufino, but you guys can call me Rufino. I'm 21 years old. I come from Minas Gerais as well, but right now I'm living in Italiano, São Paulo. I came here to study in college. I am currently studying computer engineering, but trying to transfer to publicity because that's really more my area. You know, if you are a developer, you're a fighter. Thank you for your service in community because I tried. It wasn't for me though. And well, that's pretty much it. I've been here on TALKNTALK. I am one of the oldest people here on TALKNTALK. It's funny because I'm usually the youngest in the room because I'm 21. But the oldest person here on TALKNTALK, almost. I've been a facilitator for 2.5 years already. So it's been a wild ride. It's been pretty cool. And it's amazing to be here with you guys every day, every week during this time. It's been really good. So now that we have already introduced ourselves, I want to know from Rafael. Rafael, what do you think is the multiverse? How does it work in your opinion?
So I believe that multiverse exists. So I can prove that exists. Yeah, it's very good to say about that because I'm not science. So I understand that you have, I don't know, 1,000 different multiverse for that. Like I make my decision right now, but the another multiverse did different decisions and opinions, and these situations, they change the another multiverse, and so it's crazy. But I believe, oh no, it's very different. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that theory is pretty crazy. Like every choice you make generates a different completely reality. Because if we think that way, there's like infinite multiverses, right? That would be really cool. Hey, what about you, Daphne? Do you agree with Rafael that the multiverse is different universes that come from your decisions, or is something different? What do you think is the multiverse?
I have no idea what is multiverse. I think it involves space, the things that belong the universe, for example. I don't know if I'm right. I am right. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yes. It's like a theory that our reality is not the only one. There are different realities out there. We just can't connect or get in touch with them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you say? Do you think you believe this exists or not?
Yes, I believe that exists. If you believe it can be work, for example.
Very good. Thank you. What do you say, Pedro?
Well, I use the Marvel explanation that this multiverse is different realities in the space-time. So it's hard to explain that in Portuguese, so in English is even worse. But in my opinion, it's something that can be real because the possibilities will be totally infinite. And if we think that this is infinite, so it's something that is a little hard to believe. So I think it's a little more like the universal, like for movies, and something that more fiction.
It's like it's not something that keeps multiplying, but something that has a definite number, right?
No, this is never stopped to multiply. So if every decision that I made create a new history, so imagine that. So everyone in the world take decisions every time in the day. So this is multiply and multiply in some time. So this is something that, oh, today I will go work or I will stay home. So this is two universe. So I will I will walk or I will buy a car. So this is something that I think is too much to believe in that.
All righty, great. Let's see if Fernando agrees. Fernando, what do you think is the multiverse and how do you think it works?
So like Daphne, yeah, it's a little bit out of my mind. It's something that's more for maybe films, Marvel. It's not the things that I like to research about it. So, but I believe that we are not alone here in the Earth. We have some other planets, galaxies. So yeah, for sure, we have other kind of maybe multiverses, something different that it's not not in our capability of understand. I believe it. That's it.
Awesome, really great. And now, what about Italo? What theory have you got for us?
Yes, I like this subject. I agreed with Pedro because this is a complex subject to explain because our topic is supposed by scientists, but is a really interesting subject to talk because you have infinite possibilities to discuss. And I think the greatest example is the Marvel movies and the DC movies because they explain with a different form, and it's this really complex subject to explain. Yeah, that's it.
It's really tricky to talk about it, right?
Yeah, I think the greatest famous is Stephen Hawking that explains sometimes about the Big Bang explosion, or have another theories about I don't know in English, but teoria das cordas is a theory inside the quantum physicist and the mechanic quantum. I don't know, and yeah, they have a lot of subject to discuss with, but I like it. Sometimes I'm sitting and study about it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to search about this kind of stuff. There's a lot of theories and mathematical models. It's quite interesting, but also complicated because then you've got like thousands of versions of how the world will work, and that's pretty confusing. My favorite theory is the theory from the CW verse from series like Arrow and The Flash. That is, the multiverse would pretty much be like different versions of the Earth, of the universe itself, existing on exactly the same place, but on different frequencies. So for you to access another dimension, you have to break the frequency barrier, would be something kind of like that. It's interesting, but it breaks the first law of physics, which is like things cannot exist on the same space. So I think this is the most interesting thing about that, like, to imagine.
Yeah, can I share one person that people maybe watch in the YouTube to learn about? It's Hélio Couto, but it's a really complex class because it's a 2 hour of class, but it's a really interesting subject to learn and to learn about how subparticle does works, because I think the multiverse works in the subparticles levels, and it's very complex to explain.
Let's go. Send the link to us. Send the link in the chat, please.
Okay.
If you can. That's going to be really great.
Just
All
a
right.
second.
Now, we kind of already answered the second question, that if you guys believe the multiverse exists or not. So let's skip to number 3. Pedro, how do you imagine other dimensions? How do you imagine other versions of the universe?
I'm not so imaginative, but I would say that can be anything. So in this new universe, I can be a woman, for example. In this new universe, I can live in Paris. I can be a doctor, so, or maybe more creative, we can have 3 arms. I don't know. So this is totally possible that everything changes, because when you talk about the multiverse, is need to be different. So if it's the same as is our reality, but it's not the same, but live in a different way. Maybe can be totally different. The building, the increasing of the universe, the time was developing, and then they can have powers, they can have, the people can fly, I don't know. So everything's possible in there.
Yeah, I imagine this is really cool. Let's see. What about you, Daphne? How do you imagine other dimensions, other universes?
It's hard to say, but I imagine something like a dark, no lives, without light, much colder than Europe, and like a space that humans wouldn't not be happy.
Colder than Europe is difficult. It would be a very unpleasant place.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's interesting, because not a lot of people think about dimensions where we know would be. And because, yeah, it's interesting to think. We think like about when we look for, I think you were in the immersion last Friday, right? When we talked about Rocket Man, or not? No, you were in immersion this Wednesday. But we have been searching the space for signs of life and other species for a long time, and it's very difficult to find. So probably in other dimensions, if things don't go as well as in Earth, there wouldn't be any life as well, right? That's interesting. What do you say, Rafael? How do you imagine other dimensions, other universes?
If we stop to know, remember that you can create another universe when we have a different choice in the life. You can have the thousand infinite universe. So all this another universe can be exist because I don't know, 1,000 years ago, this world gonna be end for the three big water hour. Understand? So yeah, I understand you have a different life, or sometimes it's a little different life. Sometimes I have two children or not the children in my house. So yeah, I believe different lives. Just
You're thinking like, how would be a universe where I have 15 kids running around the house?
no. In the universe, I don't have children.
You're not curious about this one?
This moment.
Perfect. What about you, Fernandez? How do you imagine other universes, realities?
So I would want to imagine something on a dimension that the human don't change it, don't more natural, more like the ocean without pollution, the forest, no traffic is the cars and airplanes. So something more natural. I like that. I want to think that it's possible.
That would be pretty cool, like a more naturalist thing, and that's nice. In this dimension, in this universe, I don't know. Do you think people would have technology or not?
I think no, because the technology, it's linked with the connection, the things that you needed to have a materials like computer, telephone. So it's not the same energy,
Yeah, it's difficult to imagine technological development and nature preservation, right?
I think when you talk about technology, is more something more capitalism, materials, and buy something, and the natural is something that you needed to be more sustainable.
Alrighty, very good. And what about you, Mr. Ito? How do you see? Do you picture other dimensions?
That's crazy to imagine that. But I think it's the same that to imagine myself, I clone myself with some technique and put on another planet, like a Mars or whatever. And this crazy, but the majority of people think about you have a bad planet, a bad universe, like a very cold or very hot planet, but the majority of people doesn't think about to planet that have a better life, like with the life where you don't need the money to keep your life simple, maybe. But it's crazy to think about the many lives in another universe. But I think it have the both universe. When you have a bad life than actually, and better life than actually. Maybe some universe you don't need the technology to live, and other universe you need. Maybe it's crazy. Like as a Pedro said before, when I need to choose if I go to the work with a car or bus, you have a both universe when one you go with a bus and other with a car. It's a kind of
Yeah, that's quite interesting to think about. That would be pretty cool. I am a big fan of imagining words and versions of the universe where we would have special abilities like powers and stuff. But the thing I like the most is imagining versions of the universe where, of our world, where historic events didn't happen or happened differently. For example, how would the world be if they never discovered America? You know, they never discovered this side of the world. Or how would the world be if when the disaster in Japan happened with the atomic bomb, people started an atomic war or something like that? I like to imagine, you know, this happenings like how will the world be like if World War II never happened or World War I never happened, and this kind of stuff, you know, is interesting to think. A world where JFK was never murdered, or you know, the Trade Center terrorist attack never happened. It's interesting to think about these versions of historical events that.
Talking about the specifically for wars, basically the society, the population doesn't get more evolution if doesn't get a war, because people get more evoluted. Maybe I forgot the word, but when people got faced a war, is probably after the war, people get more involved to growth your thoughts and try to maybe, you know, help other peoples to grow, to left the food economic, like there's a kind of wars basically promote the people evolution.
Yeah, but I am agree with you, Italo, about the empathy, because here in Europe we see near the Ukraine warm that it's happened. So it's like 1 year that it's happened here, and we can see some difference. So here in France, we have so many Ukrainians came here and started to work, and we have so many associations, non-profit, to help them. So I believe that everybody like to help them. So all this kind of disasters, warm and COVID, the pandemic, everything, I believe that we start to be more empathic, and try to help everybody. And it's like we started to be more adapted for these circumstances. So
yeah, of course,
what happened.
I agree with you. Think about it. If I think the Second War does not happen, the technology about computers maybe coming for us lately, because the Second War, the Alan Turing made the first computer for decrypt messages in the war. If Second War does not happen, this computer maybe come for us lately. Maybe some 100 years after. Think about it. And suppose this, if this happened before, actually, currently, we have the big computer or AI projects like artificial intelligence. It's very interesting topic because have many possibilities. Like Rufino, I like to think about how it's work if the Earth doesn't have any war or any food necessity or any technology necessity.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because World War II and then Cold War, we had a lot of technological advancements. Nowadays, we have wars in many places in the world, but they don't help in anything. Actually, war is not made to help, right? It's more like a side effect. But it's interesting to think about how much we can evolve as in technology and as a species. Because when World War II happened and then the Cold War, a lot of stuff were created. The computer was created, ways of transportation were created, a lot of machines and devices we have nowadays were created. I don't think war is a way of like evolving anymore because as our technology grew, the kind of things we can involve now with war wouldn't be so good for humanity, I think, because nowadays people have a lot more knowledge and they can create things that are far more destructive, you know. So I think it's like
And I would agree with you because I think that we can have good development yet. So nowadays the ARM has the bestest technology in the universe. So if you think, for example, that in your life have technology, we can imagine what the ARM can do. So nowadays they can use a drone to send a bomb. So this is something that you don't see a drone with people, with civilians, but imagine in the next. So this drone already exists. So they only need to make this more affordable to people to start to use. So we can use this drone to deliver things. They are already doing that. So we can use this drone. They are creating robots to fight in the war, but these robots can be used to other things too. Can be robots that will like the AI to do things for us. So I think that the meaning and the purpose that they are creating each war is to have something to help them to achieve the world, to achieve the top of the world. But this can be also developed to good things because the technology is the point that when we have this, we can use this for a lot of things, but they're doing that for war. But okay, we can use also that technology to other good things.
Yeah, I think the Pedro was correct because some people in some organization use the technology was wrong because technology can be used for things about for help people, for improve people health, improve the communication inside this society.
GPS is the good example for this technology improving our life.
guys, I have an idea. Just so we don't get way off topic, I want to continue the subject, but if we continue, we're going to, spiral and stay here for 2 hours. So we're going to stay on the track of the multiverse, and next Friday, I'll bring you guys an immersion about war, okay? Now we're going to continue this discussion because I'm really loving it. So, Daphne, let me ask you question number 4. What other versions of yourself would you like to meet?
I don't know. I would like to meet something similar to the world of Pandora and see many avatars, be able to fly on dragons, see neon flowers, and eat stranger fruits, but delicious foods. I don't know, a fun world where there is no money and no work.
That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. And like how do you think you would be you as an avatar? Do you think you would be like very tall and strong, or?
Yeah, a strong avatar and blue avatar.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Any other versions of yourself you would like to meet? I would like to meet myself as an avatar. I think I would be a great flyer. Any other versions of yourself you'd like to meet? I'm gonna give you a little more time to think more about that. Let me ask Fernanda. What other
Yeah,
versions of yourself?
sorry. I think I'm not so like in this fantasy world, but the three versions of me that I really like to meet, it's my version really, really rich and a version really, really poor. So to know and have this opinion of these versions, so what the best and the worst side of this world, this version, and the third version, I believe it is when I will have like 90 years old. So this is my oldest version. So what's the opinion that I have for everything that I lived and what I would like to do different. And yeah, it's three types of versions of me that I would like to meet.
You want some advice from the future? That's cheating.
Yeah. I think it's really helped me now,
I feel you. Rafa, go ahead.
I think I would ask you myself in the future, what the what the Megasen number? Well, I know, but I get it. I think that I want to see what is God, what is around, if my choice right now is correct to get my dreams and my goals in the future. I'm gonna be to see where around I have if I can the power I could to see my future in this situation.
Interesting. And what about other versions as well? Like, would you like to see yourself as a president or as a famous person?
Yeah, the residence, my house.
Yeah. No. You yourself, but in a different version from another universe. So like, for me, I would love to meet myself in three ways. I would love to meet my version that is a woman.
Mhm.
I would love to meet my version that would be a president. And I would love to meet my version that would be, what was the word one? A woman, a president, and my version with superpowers. I guess I would like to meet.
Superpowers more cool, yeah. More superpower, strong power, and I like it. I ever been in my life. I prefer the power is the mentally power. I understand mental power is very nice because you can do everything you wanna and can do to decide another person my decision. So the power is very, very interesting to the mental power.
Very good. Perfect. What about you, Daphne? Did you think more versions of yourself you'd like to meet?
No, I can't imagine the version of myself. but would be stranger, very strange.
You're looking yourself like,
Yeah.
perfect, very good. Italo, what about you? What other versions of yourself would you like to meet?
A kind of an avatar is very interesting to maybe to know how they connect with the nature is very interesting. And the another version, I think the version with a lot of wisdom, because wisdom keep life more easier, and a lot of knowledge. I like to know myself. Yeah, how to I don't know in English, autoconhecimento, auto knowledge, maybe. Yeah, I don't have many versions of me to know. I like it to stay very simple.
Right. Okay, that would be nice. Yeah, I think knowing ourselves as avatars would be really cool. Like you and Daphne said. Okay.
In
Now,
Brazil, we have the Avatar film now in the cinema, in the cinema, or not?
I
Yeah,
watched it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
3 hours
Here
of
in Brazil, yeah,
Oh my gosh. You have already
it's very
what or not?
it's
I
very
have.
cool movie. I
Yeah,
recommend.
it's nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah, very nice movie. Yeah.
But they're like, yeah,
Why?
I watched it. I watched it a lot.
You needed to do like a lunch in the middle of the film. No, it's 3 hours. What the fuck?
3 hours.
3 hours of a movie. Yes, it was very long. My brother slept half the movie because we went seeing it after a long day of work. So I gave up on inviting my brother to the cinema because he sleeps every time. But
It's nice.
it's a nice movie. What about you, Pedro? What other versions of yourself would you like to meet?
Well, in the normal reality, I would say that rock star could be nice. So imagine a crowded stadium and you sing then. This could be very nice to see. What more? And the second part would be more like Daphne, to different alternatives of space, for example, people that live in space, for example, that you told in the past, the bomb atom exploded and we need to develop a way to live in Warcraft in the space. So meet a person that live in this type of life, it could be nice, or people that live under the water. So in the normal reality, it's not something too cool to know because, well, I could see myself as a woman, I could see myself as in other profession, but I think I prefer think that more imaginative fictions, that something that could happen in the past that changed completely our reality and we are living in a different way nowadays. So you talked, for example, about have power. So imagine a world and when everyone has power. So this could be something nice to know and to meet.
It would be really cool. Like, what powers do I have? How would I behave with powers? Would I be a hero or a villain?
Yeah, totally like the boys. So the heroes is not even the heroes.
Perfect. Now, guys, I want to skip to question number 10 because I want to know if you guys are creative. So, here, if you discovered a universe, what would you name it? If you discover a universe, what name would you give to it? That's an interesting one. Italo, what would you name a new universe? Your microphone's off.
You're muted.
Sorry. It's very difficult to say, but I really like the avatar names, and maybe one of name of avatar. I don't know. I forgot for now, but it's very creative name in the Avatar movies.
Cool. So you call it Pandora.
No, Pandora, but I really forgot the name of the
Oh, the characters itself.
actor. Yeah.
Oh, got it. The Navi people. Cool.
Yeah, Navi people, yeah.
Nice. Really great. What about you, Fernanda? If you discover a universe, what name would you give it?
I have no idea because I'm like trying to list the name of the planet and think like that's no sense. I have no sense. So maybe common a big like what the fuck what I found it. I don't know. I don't have creativity, sorry.
I can see it on TV.
I'm trying to imagine like I'm in the planets like the meme, you know, what the fuck, what I found. What I found is just like mountains, just like anything here. So what the fuck?
I imagine William Bonner. Scientist and researcher Fernandez de Andrade found discovered a universe and named it What the Fuck?
That's it.
Perfect. What do you say, Pedro? What would you name a new universe that you found?
No idea, but I will be a little selfish and maybe use my name to create a name for this universe. So this will always be remembered, like people that discover some asteroids and give them their names. So something, I will mix my name with something to create a cool name.
Nice. Very cool. Interesting. Perfect. What about you, Daphne? How would you name a universe that you discovered?
I don't know. Maybe I would call it a new world because it would be all new.
Yes, that's interesting. New world. Just like, and it's interesting because a lot of places were called the New World during the time, right? For example, when they discovered America, they called it the New World for a long time. So that would be like a continuation of human exploration. That's cool. What about you, Hazel?
I think I don't know. I really, it's very crazy to think about, maybe.
It's weird to think, right? About like, what would I name a universe?
Maybe to mix my letters of my name, mix in inverse order, or mix it inside of the letters. I don't know. It's have infinite possibility.
Yeah, great. Well, I would probably go like the classical things. Like usually people use Latin for everything, so I'd probably use a word in Latin. Like found a word that sounds really cool in Latin and use it to name the universe. But I don't know which one yet. But probably something from Latin, just to, Latin sounds cool. All right. Now, before we finish here, because we've got only a few minutes left, I want to bring you guys something that I don't know if you guys already know. Let me ask a person here. Daphne, can you read for us, please? Question number 5.
5, yes. Do you know what's a doppelganger is? It would be Malignant's copy of you that is somewhere, and it would take your... Nossa, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Theoretically.
Yes. Kill you if you two ever meet. Does it make you afraid?
So a doppelganger is this legend that somewhere in the world there is a copy from you from another dimension, and this copy is malignant, is evil. And if this copy sees you, this copy is going to kill you and start living your life.
There's a movie about that. I remember.
This movie.
Yeah.
There's a movie about that. I can't
Yeah.
remember who did that, but there's a movie talking about that. I think it's Jack
Yes.
Chan.
Jack Chan?
I think there is a movie with Jack Chan with different universe, and there's a Jack Chan evil that come and kill and absorb the power of that person, and it start to increase and something like that.
Something about that, yes. This is a very old German legend, the doppelganger. So people have made a lot of movies following this line of history. So Daphne, the idea that there is an evil Daphne around the world, and if this Daphne sees you, she's going to kill you and live your life. Does it make you scared?
Yes, I would have scared because I know who I am, and I'm a little bad. If the other, yes, I would be scared.
If you're like, I'm already a little bad. If there is a version of me that's worse, that's a big problem, right?
Yes, it's a big problem.
I will say that you can be the evil part. So if you find someone living better than you could be the doppelganger.
Yeah.
My twin brother can be do this.
You have a twin brother.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Maybe he's your doppelganger.
Sometimes he do this.
He tells people, no, I'm Rafael.
Yeah. In the past he did it.
Oh my, that's great. So Rafael already has a doppelganger. Think about that. If you guys had doppelgangers, would be 2. So it would be 4 at the end. Maybe your brother was switched and you don't know.
Oh. Maybe.
Sometimes because I have 2 sisters, twin sisters, but they have a big difference between them. Because sometimes twins is a different between them.
That's interesting. Maybe one of them is the doppelganger. But what about you, Isaac? Would you be afraid of this story if you knew there was an evil version of yourself out there? I said Isaac Ezitalo. I read the second name.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. It's not crazy to think about it because you will die and the malignant person live your life. That's crazy.
Really interesting.
Think about your parents or your friends living with this person without know who you are.
Do you think they would discover?
Is that crazy? Maybe this person will die the friends when the friends figured out the serial killer.
That's a great horror movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Fernanda? Does it make you scared thinking about your doppelganger?
Yeah, it's scared because maybe if my family, if they meet my evil version, they will instantly recognize that it's not me. But it's crazy. Yeah. If we can think about the twin brothers, I think it's really possible to confuse it with them. You know, it's like a girlfriend of one of them, like it's a little bit drunk, you know. Everything is possible. So it's scared.
Really is. Very great. Imagine dating twins must be really complicated.
Yeah.
Guys, that's it. Last question was to make you guys scared. So now we're going to spend the rest of your life thinking, is there an evil copy of me out there? And remember, if you see a copy of you out there, run or kill the copy. It's your choice. That's gonna be it for today. I thank you guys for coming. Really hope you enjoyed the conversation. Some of you guys have already had to leave, right? Because of the time. I know a lot of you have to work. So I won't hold you guys any longer. Just gonna leave here a link to the feedback. If you guys want to leave a feedback of the immersion, tell what you liked, what you didn't like, what we can improve, leave suggestions of topics for us to talk about as well. And that will be it. So don't forget to click the link before leaving. Domo arigato. Have an amazing weekend, and I see you guys in our next immersion. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have a nice
you.
day. Have a nice weekend.
See you, Pandaro World.
Bye.